night, I have tried to get out the door 2 times already for this run. So here I am finally. You ever have days like that when just things keep stopping you from going out on the run? Just heading out the first time and heard thunder. I thought, well, I better loop back around and drop off my phone. You can tell I've got my phone with me still. Because then when I tried to drop the phone off, I got stopped by a kid who needed me to do something, scanning his homework into my computer so he could email it to his professor for his summer class. And then I got hit with the news on Twitter, the Boston Marathon being canceled, which doesn't surprise me, but to have that on the heels of Hard Rock being canceled is just, 1-2 punch in the gut. And big deal, right? First world problems, as they say. They're a lot more serious things than races. But sometimes races are how we keep motivated. And so, this certainly does affect us. It affects all of us. I know a lot of you have had that. So, today I wanted to talk about hydration. I already talked about how to carry water or whatever, but now I want to talk about what it is you should be drinking, and whether that's before you run or during your run or after your run. Right now I'm not carrying anything because this is going to be a short run, and I don't carry anything with me when I go on short runs typically. But I'll show you what I do after, and I'll show you some other options when I'm not having to do it during a run. See you in a second. So, this week I thought I'd talk to you guys about what you should be drinking before, during, and after your runs. Last week we talked about how to carry liquids during your run, and that's really important, but you also have to think about what it is you're going to take with you and what you should be drinking the night before and how you should recover. Now, the number one thing you should be considering is water. I'm gonna pour some right now so that I'm not parched while I'm talking. I don't think I'm gonna talk quite as long as I did last week, but just to be safe. It's really important that you stay well hydrated, and water is the best way to stay hydrated. You want to make sure that you don't go into a run without too much water in your body, because even if you're drinking during the run, it's hard to make up for it if you have gone into the run dehydrated, and the best way to tell is checking out the color of your urine. If your urine is clear or nearly so, you're topped off, you're well hydrated. The darker the color of your urine, the more dehydrated you are, and the more dangerous the situation, especially if it gets particularly dark, assuming you don't have some other reason, some medicine that you're taking or vitamins you're taking or something that might cause it to discolor. Now, beyond that, what are some other things you could be drinking? Well, this morning, on my short-ish run, ran for about an hour with my son, it was really hot though, and it was really humid. So I like to have a little flavoring to my water when I get back, and it helps me get more down and a little bit of recovery. So what I had were some BCAAs, branch chain amino acids. This happens to be by a company called Intech, but there are other brands. Here's one by companies called Evolution Nutrition, BCAA 5000. Here's another one by Skivation, Extend Hydration Plus BCAAs. Got a bunch of this stuff. And it's really good. Branch chain amino acids can help recover your muscles and just overall speed your recovery from your runs. It's not intense, it's not a lot of calories, it's like 40 calories in a scoop, and the scoop is always in the package. And it comes in different flavors, usually very light flavors. What I have here with the Intech is Island Fusion, which is one of my favorite flavors for that. So that's kind of my go-to these days. Now, in terms of what I might carry when I'm running, I might use the BCAAs, or I might go with something really simple. Gatorade, right? We've all had Gatorade. A lot of races have it. And I recommend if you're going to be training for a race, find out what fluid is going to be on the course at that race so that you can practice with that same drink. Now, if your system likes that drink, then you're lucky. You don't have to carry it with you. If you find that your system doesn't like that drink, it just doesn't stay down very well, it doesn't taste very good to you, then you may have to worry about carrying something yourself. There are ways to do that with putting the powder in bottles that you carry if it's a short race, or making a slurry with it, putting in 2 or 3 times as much powder as you normally would, so that you have almost like a gel that you can take a little sip on and go back and forth with water that you take on the course. So Gatorade is a pretty common thing to be at a lot of races. Now, other things that you might find on races, other fluids you might find. This is by a company called GU. We're probably pretty familiar with the GU that we take in the packet. This is their energy drink called Roctane. This is a tropical fruit flavor. Again, I'm a fruity type of guy. And it's not bad tasting, and so it's good to have that to practice with if you think the race that you're going to be going to is going to have that. Or if you've tried it and you like it, obviously you want to have it and use it. Another company that sponsors a lot of races, or the product you'll see at a lot of races, particularly triathlons, is Hammer Nutrition. This is Hammer Recoverite, and this is more their recovery drink, but they also have a drink that they would have out on the course. This one is orange vanilla flavor, kind of tastes nice, like a creamsicle. And I'm not a big fan of the Hammer myself, but again, some people are, and so it's good to have a lot of different things to practice with in case that's what's going to be out on the course. Now, Jeff Galloway has a favorite drink, a sports drink, and for him, what he prefers to have out on the course, and what you'll probably find out on the course at his races, is Accelerate. Accelerate is made by a company called Pacific Health Labs, and this is their product that you would have before a race, say the night before, to help you top off your electrolytes, and then you would have during a long run as well. This is lemonade flavor, which is pretty tasty, and that works really well. Their 4-to-1 formula, which is 4 carbohydrates to 1 protein, is a trademark formula that they use and that they swear by, and Jeff likes that a lot for his own purposes. And you will see that again in their recovery drink. And then a couple of other powders and things that I like. This is one that's really popular among some triathletes, mostly ultra runners, Tailwind. I'm a big fan of Tailwind, and one of the things that I love best is this naked flavor. Naked or unflavored Tailwind means that it doesn't really taste like anything. You can add a scoop of BCAAs, or you can add some other flavoring to it to get the flavor that you want. You can mix it with other things. But what's cool about that is it has all the electrolytes, all the nutrition that you need. And so some ultra runners will do an entire 100-miler, and Tailwind will be the only nutrition that they take. Believe it or not, no other food, no other drinks, just Tailwind. So it was designed with that in mind, and it works really well for a lot of runners. Then if there are particular things that you're looking for, there are companies that will customize drinks just for you. One of them is Infinite, and this is a custom powder that I had made that has maltodextrin, dextrose, sucrose, citric acid. It has a bunch of things. It's been a while since I used this. I'm not sure I even remember what flavor it was. But I used that in an Ironman triathlon, and worked fairly well for me. Another company that will also do a custom blend for you is this company called True Nutrition. And True Nutrition really will allow you to balance out exactly the ingredients you want to get just what you're looking for. And so now, moving on to recovery and talking about afterward, this is a recovery drink that I put together, and actually a friend that does customized with me came up with. He gave me his blend, and so this is Dave's Recovery Blend, and it's a cinnamon bun flavor. That is a tasty drink for recovery. Now, in terms of recovery, there are a couple of other things that work really well for that. I talked about Accelerate Pacific Health Labs. Again, Jeff Galloway is a big proponent of that company, and they make a product called Endurox R4. It has that same 4-to-1 carbohydrate to protein blend, and this is their grapefruit Endurox R4, which is really tasty. I've got a tangy orange in this larger container, but I have to tell you, the one that is always at the finish line of the Donna Marathon for the VIPs. I always make sure it's there for Jeff Galloway, it's there for Donna herself, and that my family really tends to go for is chocolate. The chocolate flavor of Endurox R4. It tastes kind of like chocolate milk. It really is tasty, and we use the heck out of that. Now, one other company that's got a good recovery drink is Tailwind. And Tailwind's Rebuild Recovery, you can actually get in these little pouches. And actually, you can get their regular drink in these pouches as well. Let's see, this one is has caffeine in it, and this is the green tea Tailwind. But their Rebuild, I like having these packets because I can throw this packet into my bag for the finish line of a marathon or of an ultra marathon, and I don't have to worry about having a scoop. I don't have to worry about having a big container there or anything, or scooping it out and putting it in some other Ziploc bag and worrying about if that's going to get broken open, or people are going to question me for it if I go through the security in the airport. It just goes in these little things. These are great. I picked these up at the store, and this is a vanilla flavor. They have a chocolate flavor as well of their recovery, the Rebuild Recovery drink. It's fantastic. The important thing to consider is you want to make sure you have plenty of electrolytes going into your long runs. So something like Accelerate or Tailwind the night before, even Gatorade or Powerade the night before is a good choice to make sure you stay hydrated. During the run, you want to make sure that you have something that your body can tolerate, so you practiced it during your long runs before you get into a race. And then afterwards, you want to have something that's appropriate for recovery for the activity you just had. So it may be something as simple as BCAAs, or even just water if it's a short run, or if it wasn't too hot, or if it's a long run or a long race, you might need something that's really going to put some nutrition back into you. That's where you're going to go for the Tailwind Rebuild, or you're going to go for the Endurox R4. Some people like chocolate milk for recovery. I have to tell you, chocolate milk or beer for recovery is another popular thing. Those are great. Those are fun. There's not a lot of science, though, behind those being great recovery drinks. But if it's helping you get some fluid back in, that's a good thing, too. I want to make sure you're having fun with your runs, and the best way to have fun with your run is to feel good, and I want you to feel good by staying well hydrated. All right? Take care, and talk to you later. So, neat trick. The best way to shake up a drink before or after a run is in a cocktail shaker. It works way better than those sports things that you can buy. Plus, it's more fun. So we just finished a run, and we're getting BCAAs. What flavor is that? Island